Hi there. So today will be our last Tuesday tip on the series of looking at ASCA's Professional Foundation Behavior Standards. That's a mouthful. And I am in my car again. I apologize. I know these car videos can be a bit hard to watch. I get that. But I'm on the road again and at another speaking gig, and hopefully this will be the last car video for a while. So the standards that I want to talk about today are demonstrate advocacy in a comprehensive school counseling program and create systemic change through the implementation of a comprehensive school counseling program. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the advocacy standard because everything that I have to say about advocacy is in a post on my website, which you can find here, and you can look up advocacy in school counseling, or you can type in advocacy into the yellow search bar on my website, and you'll find all kinds of ideas, resources, steps for that standard. In terms of the standard about systemic change, I think that happens the quickest, the best, the most effectively through guidance lessons and group sessions that are expected, that are the norm. So the idea is when the norm and the expectation in a school is that the school counselor is doing guidance lessons and group sessions. Once that happens, I feel like the systems have changed and they are aligned with the overall delivery role of the school counselor. So in order to make that happen, to make your guidance lessons and your group sessions become the norm and the expectation that all staff members would have for the school counseling program at your school, in order to make that happen, you have to start with that advocacy post on my website and kind of follow along with some of those ideas. And we're talking about, weekly meetings with admin to talk about your duties, both what you're actually doing and what your state model or the ASCA national model says you should be doing, and hopefully there's some overlap between the two. And, working to start guidance lessons and groups if you've never done them before, even if it means just one guidance lesson and one group for the whole semester. Hey, that's progress. If you haven't done that before, that's huge. That's great. And I think that you'll, after working on that for a little while, I think you'll see such a change. And you'll see something similar to what happened to me when I had a situation where my co-counselor quit the day before we were supposed to go back to work. This was a few years ago. Incredibly stressful. I won't even get into all that. But I will say that my principal and I sat down when that happened, and we decided that I was not going to do any groups or any guidance lessons until we hired a replacement, which was going to take about 6 weeks, because I was alone, the lone counselor with 1,000 students at a very high need, high trauma campus. So all my time really needed to be spent putting out fires and handling crisis and helping to register and get new students into classes and so on and so forth. And when that happened, the backlash from staff, because they expected me to be doing guidance lessons, because they expected their students with needs to be getting into groups, right away in the fall semester, the backlash was so overwhelming that it was wonderful. They were advocating for my program. I didn't have to say anything. They were asking, why aren't we having guidance lessons? Why aren't we having groups? Because that was the norm and that was expected. And, the pressure was there to hire a second counselor faster so we could get back to what the expectations were. So it was really a win-win situation for everybody, for the kids, for the staff, for admin, for my counseling program. It just really worked out well all around, because those expectations were there, because there was systemic change from random acts of guidance to no. Guidance lessons and group sessions is what our counselor does. It's what our program is about. It's how delivery of the school counseling program happens. So hopefully that helps and gives you some ideas on those last two standards. And I will be back next week with some new topics. We'll move away from the ASCA National Model Standards for a little while because it's a lot, and we'll get into some fun and helpful counseling strategies next week. Happy counseling.